This, this, this. That's right, Link. Fucking update my window. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. What's good, brother? How are you feeling? That's how I'm feeling. 55 extra dollars in the hole, probably another $1,000 down for an ER trip. I'm feeling like a supervillain. Damn it. It was balanced before. Shouldn't have touched it. Now it won't stand up. There we go. All links live. All things going. Yes, I think they are. Double check. Need to drop the link directly. But I'm still alive. That's what matters. I would argue being alive and having money to actually afford things would be what fully matters. But, you know, can't look a gift horse in the mouth. You could try to, but it'd probably end up poorly. Link works. Link works. Post on all platforms. Refresh the page. Refresh the page. Okay. Everything's in proper functioning order. Welcome one and welcome all, especially the latecomers that don't click the link on the first 5 minutes. Today is January 25th, 5:52 p.m. because the first day with the medicine is aggressively annoying. It is the last week of January already. In this humble new world and universe for the Negrohood. I am the Negro with the nappiest hair on the block, single player Carl. And I'm coming to you again from Yap-In, number 37. You should really see the other guy. What was fast, really? I don't know what was fast, really. I'm not even properly recovered. I'm just not keeling over, incapable of completing a sentence because I can't stop coughing and my body's seizing. Yeah, I suppose the month was fast, but then again, this has been a non-stop week of every single day is another moment of political history in Minneapolis. Even if you weren't paying attention to world news, there is a lot of things going on in general in content. So it's like, makes the time go by faster. Not accounting for live stream content. But speaking of live stream content, we find ourselves here after not only weeks of unsettlement inside of Minneapolis, but a straight up run through of any and all of the content available to the white people. Any and all of the things that could be considered a problem for certain people in certain groups are instead going the way of the dodo for most of the people who found themselves disengaged and uninvolved. I find it really curious that of those things going the way of the dodo for certain people, there is an entire conversation about how those individuals are unwilling to come to the table and actually discuss things. Leading to individuals like myself wanting to get some greater facts that effectively have metastasized into not that many facts. Equivalent and on the level of showing one the Carfax. For what is worth, and for all the energy about it, I'm actually happy to say that I was able to avoid most of the aggressively annoying stories and news pieces. I didn't miss a lot of stuff. I didn't miss a lot of things, but it's enough stuff to like drive you mad if you were to be sad about it. And then in everything else in terms of video games, not a lot of stuff that necessarily ends up putting things in a bad light for certain parties involved. In terms of gaming, as you can clearly see in front of me right here, there is actually a very big consistency of people that have been playing the newest release that some of you all saw me playing, which is called Arknight's Infield. This is a fun game. However, my original opinion about it has improved somewhat for the quantities that concern itself to the modification and the crafting, but for everything else, my opinion is currently still meh. I'll have to play another month of content to really feel how this game functions. Because those of you that were there on the stream where I was trying it, while I was with Jay the other night, where we were discussing Pillboy and his content, know that I was playing it in the background earlier beforehand and tried to do a simple quality test run on some cash-up items. A cash-up item. A 99-cent cash-up item. And my card was automatically rejecting it. Not because I put in the wrong information, but because there was something about my card that I need to call the assistant services about. But I had to wait until Monday, because the card services don't take calls on the weekends, and they don't take calls after 5 p.m. Literally a case example of where I've had to actually just take a fucking L on the game, because it decided I'm not allowed to concern myself with something like that. Silly to begin with in multiple ways till Sunday, but apples and oranges. It is what it is. Now, as is the concern of my health, I am mostly fine in the general sense. It was just a elevation of concern that led to multiple trusted parties and myself believing the smartest thing that I could do was to go to the hospital and just get it checked out properly, finally. I'm not dying anytime soon, but that doesn't mean that you all can't be concerned. So that is really the long and short of it that you gotta understand. Outside of that, and all other things I've been covering, it's pretty much business as normal for the most part. Everything else as is has been what it is and will continue to be what it is. And we will see how I develop and how it recovers from there. That's honestly the long and short version. One of the long and short versions. So, don't go being extremely concerned, but do be slightly concerned. And as for current events, you'll have to forgive me. I don't got a lot of time in which I can necessarily fully get abreast to some of the things that have probably been happening that I haven't been fully paying attention to. But I will be able to get to them in due time. once I get the time and space to do so. This unit needs to step back. So, the chat will probably have to remind me of some things. There was something going on with PayPal and this gacha. From my position, what I know that was happening with the game is that when I was at the payment screen, it said it's down for maintenance and that it'll be brought back at a later date, which is why I tried using my card. And my card rejected, which put us onto this drama that we are now on that will conclude on Monday when I call customer services. So you would need to tell me exactly what was the thing going on with PayPal. And as for that and other things, you'll have to be abreast of the issue while I do it. However, with all the requirements out of the way, bing bong, 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 bing bong. If I say nothing, will she notice? Technically, it's saying something, Carl. In her time. Well, while I wait for the first caller to call in, this would be your opportunity to inundate me with the opinions. Ow. Because obviously, we've got the Marvel rivalship as current pop culture topic. Once again, Carl was right. Then we have Thomas Mailer really leaning in on trying to sell No Rest for the Wicked, and me putting out my tweet where I am playing the role of content creator, where I have given him the gamble. The very simple gamble. There she is. It's a very simple gamble. But basically, for those that don't know, because I'm sure there are people who don't know, we're all familiar with the trade post. Doo-doon, doon-doon, doo-doon, doon-doon. He keeps talking about No Rest for the Wicked. It's a very simple trade offer. You give me a game code, I give you word of mouth marketing. Very simple deal, Mahler. Very simple deal. I don't know much about it because it's not the gacha game that I play, but I did hear that PayPal was saving information and other people getting charged for purchases that they didn't buy. That sounds like a security issue, but I don't know what part of the security issue that must be, because the only thing that could be is somebody basically trying to pay for their content using PayPal and them not properly securing their PayPal information and being the target of a brute force hack that then completely robbed them of being able to use their content without being fucking molested by the hackers basically stealing their money. The same way that a kid could do the same thing to an unaware parent if they didn't have control of their bank account information. It's a very trepidatious thing. Very stupid, very dumb. Kids should not do that, but kids will do that, definitely. But I don't think it's a kid problem in this situation. I think it's just a hacker problem, and it'll probably be fixed in future because I prefer using the accessibility of PayPal. But that's a conversation for another day. First and foremost, how are you doing, Saf?
I'm okay. Still keeping warm here.
Any news on the Western Front?
I mean, other than like, I guess a crazed Twitter person getting on my case for dick riding Japan, as they put it.
Were you, in fact, dick riding Japan?
No, like, this happened because I made a comment on a post from a project called Too Kawaii for Comfort, and the artist is a guy that we've covered before. Uh, if you remember Angelic Kitty Miracle Chan.
Yes.
He's
Yes, how is our
yeah,
current trans friend doing?
he's not trans. He's just a regular guy. He just did that project,
It's
you know,
all a
kind
matter
of.
of time. It's all just a matter of time.
I don't think that's the case. That's just my take on it. I just think he's just like kind of coping that he's not a pervert with these anime girls. Because, like, from what I remember, he put more effort into the animation than the other stuff.
Yes.
But he is working on a new project, the animated version of this series called Too Kawaii for Comfort, where the gist of it is like making fun of like cringe anime conventions and the people who go there.
Ah, yes. Pseudo bully behavior, because that hasn't been tried and tested before as content.
I mean, I already saw it enough in the 2000s, so it's kind of like old hat at this point.
Huh.
And the picture I commented on was a heavyset woman, but she's kind of drawn the anime style, but not really. But I saw people complaining that she didn't look moe enough like the other characters. I hold on, let me find. I should link it to you. Where do you want me to put it, Carl?
Inside of the chat room.
Okay. Wait, that's the girl. Well, the lady, I mean.
That is a face that only a nigga could fuck in a fucking bag. I don't understand what the goal of this is. The women
I
that
didn't
used to read,
see.
oh my god, the women who used to read yaoi did not look like that.
Some of them did look like that. Some of them did.
Fat, yes. Overweight, yes. But with a face like that, that is a hate crime.
The actress looks like that. The actress they got for does look like that.
Abysmal.
I need to find the picture of the actress because they did a live that I have not seen the live action version. It's just that I just saw this like earlier this week and I was just like, what is this?
Okay. And what ultimately do you think is the takeaway from this event?
I made a comment saying that, yeah, it's interesting that she does look like that, but I know the artist. I know the artist who's doing it, and it's drawn by a guy who thinks he's not perverted in comparison to other moe artists. Because I saw the other characters and they look typical 2000s moe anime style, and people were getting upset that she didn't look like them. And I'm like, I kind of know what they're going with this, where they have like a character that's quote unquote grotesque in comparison to the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And like, here are the other characters for comparison's sake.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna complain. I'm going to complain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you say the actress looks like that, I see the inner being. Okay, this big, beautiful woman, okay, is actually more attractive than this fucking goblin he drew. Okay? Maybe you could say it's the style in which he chose to draw her. Because this isn't even a full body picture.
It's not. I don't think I can find one. I'm mostly seeing her as the character she's playing as.
It'll probably be almost impossible to find this.
Okay, I have a video clip from the Twitter account. It's exactly how I thought it would be.
Okay, I have a full body of her from the website in which it's hosting credits that I believe belong to her. She, in fact, does not look like packed ham. It's just her being an older woman and slightly overweight. And he made this character look like a foid.
I don't know if it was upon request of the people he's collaborating with. Because I did see people say it looked very unflattering, which I can kind of agree with. But again, I don't know if it was like intended to be kind of a foil to the other characters.
It's very much the case that they are just taking the liberty to just draw fat anime girl. The key point there is that it's meant to look like a fat anime girl. This is not something that would make you think that this is a woman. Because of the body type, because of how the character's drawn, because of the actual proportion and shape, this makes me think that this is like a adolescent teenager that's overweight because they haven't hit proper puberty, and thus their body hasn't responded to fat yet. Well, Carl, that seems a little bit too deep. That's what it looks like to me. This doesn't look like a fucking adult woman. And it's because of the way the other character is drawn. I can't tell who's a teenager and who's a grown adult. But it's the moe style. You should just assume they're adults. No, I shouldn't. Rule number one in anime. I don't assume anybody's fucking age. Ever. So, you made one of your lead actors and slash actresses look fucking ugly. There's somebody who's had actual fucking work in things. A little bit of stuff, including the TV movie and what's supposed to be this TV miniseries of them working on this and another short and another short. But it's not like they're an unperformed actor. They just have some credits that haven't been actually properly listed. Because they've got some shit here from their YouTube page or from YouTube pages for skits that they've been a part of. And it appears that even though they are an actor, this person's much more an activist. I'm looking right now at her press and media page on her website. The woman known as Kelly Lynn is basically an activist, part comedian slash actor. Having appearances on Opie and Anthony. Supposedly the example of the lonely woman who loved her bacon sundae at a fucking Burger King. And these are fucking Wayback Machine archives, actually. So I don't know if it's because she was calling in as like a character, or this was a skit going on. It seems that she was probably a part of the Opie and Anthony show, because we've got Fox News coverage of them trolling Wall Street protesters, work print shit for author archives for things that she's posted from theworkpoint.com, grief counseling. Grief counseling is first in her list of things about how to deal with being widowed, Christian Science monitoring, Adelphi magazine, don't know what that is, but looks like it has to do with sketch comedy. And then videos from her own content about the Modern Widows Club. And other such articles that she's been tied to. As well as testimonials from people who actually have accreditation to the names. So this person actually probably has a lot more talent than we're seeing, but the only thing we first see of this person, if you don't look into this deeper, as I currently am right now, is all you would see is the, wow, this nigga made them look ugly. Be that as it may, so they're turning the thing into a television show. What of it?
No, it's like a web series.
Web series, even. That's technically still a television show. What of it?
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I mean, a comic, a live comic, web animation, a moving comic, such in the style as Homestuck, fucking manhwa. If it's online and it's regularly updated, it is a television show to people.
Okay. But again, I just made a comment on like what the artist did, and I had somebody come in my replies saying stop dick riding Japan, and I'm like, that's not remotely what I'm talking about. And then they tried to like, you know, assume that I was like a pedo and like a pedo supporter because I was like, I didn't criticize Japan in the way that they like. Because I think I said something along the lines of like how Japan isn't perfect, but I don't like that how other countries are trying to feign superiority over them. And it's something that's been happening for several years. And even a more recent example is with the Jujutsu Kaisen, where there's a lot of ball and gun enjoyers like saying Japan is like they're not the actual audience of this anime.
Hood niggas and hood weebs finna be hood niggas and hood weebs, unfortunately. We're stuck with them.
Well, the thing is, like, somebody Japanese made a comment, is like, why are these, like, guys talking about the animation like they're hyped up middle schoolers? What's wrong with them? Like, all they care about is, like, the flashy fights. So you sound like they're from middle school, and they're like, oh.
They would not be wrong, because these niggas are annoying. But we can't do anything about it, because they never shut up. There's at least a peak, and it's that the industry themselves, they can see that they're fucking annoying, so they already do the work for us. Choosing to get on top of them, at least. Kappa. But I think in this situation, the thing to remember with prudence here is, of course these people are going to act that way. They don't see the problem of them being annoying because nobody's told them that they're annoying as fuck and that we hate them.
I mean, I say that they're just annoying. They need to kind of step outside their comfort zone, watch something else.
For what it's worth, this is much better than the other situation that you see finding yourself in. So, for what it's worth, the hood weebs will work themselves out, and by that I mean they will usually find themselves in worse situations. As for the 2 kawaii for comfort content here, when is the supposed release date for this content?
It just says it's begun production. This is, well, I think it's from last year when I saw it. So I'm guessing it might take a while. I don't know what the release date is.
They should have had something up front. They should have had something up front. The fact they don't have something up front, I find to be very suspicious. Like, in production, coming soon, 2020, like summer 2026, fucking winter 2026, spring 2027. Like, you have to have something on production, otherwise it's one of those things that I wouldn't necessarily keep my eye on. But that's what I got you for.
Well, I just saw it earlier this week, and that's about it. This is like the most I've actually looked into it.
Mm-hmm. As for anything else, what else is going on?
Well, Newgrounds is having a bit of an issue where apparently they've been unpublishing people's work, specifically adult content, because somebody's been going around and reporting specific pictures, and allegedly the people reporting them are underage. So they're people who are literally just lying about their age and reporting adult works that they don't like under the guise of like, this is fucking creepy, how dare you do this.
I feel like the response in this situation should be something a little bit more elevated than punishing the artists, but instead punishing the liars that are accessing a website by falsifying their age. What has been the reaction from the site owner?
He says, like, well, Tom says something along the lines of, we've been making exceptions for stuff like this to people drawing stuff that they shouldn't. So I think that we should take it down. I'm like, Tom, do not do that.
Yeah, that's the wrong reaction.
Because they revised they revised some of their rules recently, and it sounds exactly like some Tumblr shit.
That's not smart.
It's not, and like there's some supporters pulling out already, and like they said they're quitting the site because of like their work that's even adult work that they have of like characters that are adult being removed because I saw somebody who scouted me when I first made my account saying that he's not using Newgrounds anymore because he made an born of a character that's already an adult. He's talking about Misty from Pokemon, like in Gen 2, where she's already, you know, past the age of 18, and that work got unpublished because of the rule saying you can't age up the characters for adult situations.
Oh, they don't believe in the horny pass?
No. People are already pointing out that this could be used against them for like other things and even for stuff that's not adult rated.
As I see it, the way that this situation sounds like it's playing out is that you've got children breaking the rule of the internet, and then Fulp is not putting his foot down to protect the culture of the site, and thus respectably and reactively people are actively leaving because of their inability to address the problem correctly. And because of its stupidity, you're going to see an exodus that's going to lead another group from their home that are going to be internet homeless, that are probably going to try and find a place to exist. Will they go to Twitter? Who knows? Are they going to go to a version of Tumblr? Who knows? But hearing that artists and creators are basically leaving the platform, certainly I wouldn't say it's been the center of the internet since forever, but it's still a place where people can be creative, even with the death of Flash. However people have adapted to make their content, it's whatever. But without even having to reference, like, the porn stuff, the dating sims, and the meet and fuck kingdoms, and the Pico branded dating sims of significantly high quality, I would be annoyed if I went to Newgrounds and I found that one of my favorite games, which was Super Mario Bros. 63, a Flash version of a 2D Mario with some mechanics that not even the original Super Mario 64 had. I'd be very fucking annoyed if that content basically disappeared overnight, because the people in question decided that they knew better than anyone else, and that meant I deserved to not have content. And then I had to either find a place where they hosted that content not on that website, or just accept the fact that all of the things I love are going to be removed, because some fucking kid is going to say, actually, I feel icky and disgusting, because they shouldn't be in there in the first place. Porn shit being porn shit, trying to find that one animation that you busted nut to when you were 13, 16, 17, 19, 23, 25, and 30. This is not hyper-specific, I'm just throwing out numbers. That's like Professor Utonium trying to find that one image, and then Jack throwing up the fucking okay after he busted the fat nut of his life in 0.5 seconds. But there's limitations to this shit. Like, there is limitations to this shit. There are levels. There are levels. And the way that some of these people behave and act, they go out of their way to fucking make this shit harder than it is, because they cannot address the levels this shit requires.
But the characters that are being targeted, I should have said it earlier, are Jenny Wakeman, aka XJ9,
Uh-huh.
and Amy Rose.
I would argue that XJ9 is a robot, but the word teenage is in her name, so I guess we're just gonna have to let that one go.
Yeah, but people say you can't age her up either, which is like, okay.
Again, I would argue that a fucking robot does not have an age. They can be whatever age I decided they should be, but the word teenage is in her name, so I have to let that one go. This is not an argument. This is not an argument that helps those people. This is them being annoying and us having to look at them and be like, okay, all right, retard, because it's not worth arguing about. It's not even ground that's worth mattering to argue for. It just doesn't fucking matter. It's just like, okay, you think that people are grown adults at all times and blah 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 about kids. All right, go ahead, go off, king. It's just not worth. It's just not worth it. Because, like, obviously, things like Misty, some female character who's not explicitly an adult from whatever television show they come from, it's going to be really hard to argue that actually you can have a discussion, simply because it's a little bit harder, only in the in the computational sense of you having to, like, discuss it. In matter in course. Because obviously, people are not going to fight very hard over My Valentine and Rouge the Bat. Because consistently, in how they are performing in their cadence, these two characters are adult women. One of them is a fucking bat, and the other one is My Valentine. Can't really argue about that. But then you bring up any case example of any character that they start as a teen, and then they become a woman. Gravemaster, fucking, Bleach, fucking, Fairy Tail, fucking,
I mean, I think with some of the rules, they are kind of picking and choosing, because, like, I saw someone the other day upload, like, Kim Possible porn. So it's like, okay, like, which is it? Which ones are acceptable? That, like, just because of kind of famous characters that people know, or
yeah,
can obscure characters kind of get away with it?
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Like, if we're picking and choosing based on, I feel icky when I see this character like this, this is very much a vibes-based argument. And if I don't vibe with the argument that a person is making, I feel that that is bullshit. Inherently. So, I should completely comb through that person's opinion and find out whether or not it is actually fair. And I don't think that these opinions are fair. I think they are garbage. But then that comes down to the margin of efficacy.
Yeah.
One person decides that this character is icky. Another person decides that this character is not icky. Who do we go with? The person who knows ball or the person who knows ball? Accordingly and argumentatively, we should go with the person who knows ball. But these kids have been lying about their age for so fucking long. They probably are veterans themselves. This is an unfortunate consequence that we have to actually handle, because this is one of the downsides with children lying about their age. Now, of course, I'm in the position that you should fucking remove them because they were lying about their age, and don't care about them complaining because they were lying about their age. But apples to apples, there's not really a lot you can do. I thought that was a drop down. There's not really a lot that you can do. Because having the conversation with them means having to seed the ground to allow them to do this all the time. And I would rather not. I'm the kind of person that I don't believe in the type of second chances those kids think they deserve. So, I guess you would also have to base it based on what exactly they've been removing. It's not like they've been going after the quintessential who's who of the website. Maybe they have been. But,
I remember like the XJ9 animation Zone did. I think that got kind of removed or taken down because of like Nickelodeon and Viacom, which is ironic considering the stuff that actually went on in their studios.
Well, in that situation, we know that Zone has at least a method of getting their shit back. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but that doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay. But it's definitely something that it could have ended up worse than it was and did. But for as long as it matters, for people like Zone, they have a result. They have an answer to people fucking with the shit, since they have their own website. But for the people who don't have that, because of people fucking with their shit, it is much harder for them to recover. So I definitely say my choice, if it was me, is I would have gotten rid of people based on the who's who. If they're a known contaminant, just fucking remove them. It's easier, it's safer. It's easier, it's safer. Just fucking remove those people. We don't have the patience. We don't have the patience, we don't have the time. For everybody else, it is a question of decency, I would say. Of common decency. But I digress. Anything else for me?
Well, I kind of wanted to make a point, like saying, because I've been through that Tumblr whole exodus, and like the start of like people doing like, oh, you should not do this and such with this character, because like if you do, you're a fucking sicko and you should go to jail for drawing it. Never mind the fact that there was like actual groomers on there putting kids in danger, right? And after that purge happened, I saw some people coping, saying that, ugh, those disgusting men, they were posting all that disgusting hentai. I'm glad they're not on this side anymore. And then they would look through their usual tags, like any kind of like shipping or LGBT tags, and they're like, what? I can't look at like my favorite period anymore? What the hell, Tumblr? Why would you betray us? And then that's pretty much why they left and went to Twitter, because that was the only place that still allowed you to openly post porn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my nose is itchy. I would say that those people have always been a eyesore. They've always been an eyesore, and they're probably always going to be a type of eyesore that we're just going to be stuck with. I have to do the fucking quest to do this. On top of the normal concern, exploration level 4. Am I not at exploration level 4? Or does it show my exploration level? I'm pretty sure I'm on my exploration level. Fuck. Anyways, I would say pretty much that these individuals aren't to be taken seriously with their concerns of calls for it's level 1. With their calls for desire. since most of their shit comes down to kvetching about content and ages, where they otherwise do not actually invest themselves with actual problems that have proper solutions that they're willing to accept to and with other people for the good of other people. But concerning the Tumblr exodus, why haven't we killed these people? That's a half joke. Like, I'm pretty sure that the audiences that know that these individuals are annoying can just say, yeah, why don't we just ban them from the group Discord?
Well, you can't, because they're like good people or whatever they say. They're on the right side of history or whatever.
I think you can ban a nigga from the group Discord. Because these Discords that they're doing this shit in, because I know they're doing it in the Discords because I see the shit all the time. These niggas, they're a fucking problem everywhere they go. They want to be fucking little cantankerous fucking authoritarian brats. They can do it in their own nice, safe, empty space. Because the Chud Hunt... Because
the thing I wanted to say is that, like, these groups are like, it has a bunch of children, but then like another equally immature adult, like kind of creepy adult leading them, because the adult is like, look at this disgusting stuff. Like, they're exposing them to adult material that they shouldn't even be seeing in the first place.
Yes, exactly. The Panda adult grooming Discord allegations. That's exactly what I was talking about. Like, you can ban these people from their group Discords. You can remove them. You don't have to have them in your content, in your servers, because they are a problem everywhere they go. Because they need to try and play hero about this content is so icky, so bad, so disgusting, but they can't put it the fuck down. So for their own safety, you can just ban them from these places that they're going to. And then it's not a problem anymore. Well, they're not a problem anymore. Because number one, they're not in your shit fucking your people up. And number two, if they cause problems, you just keep doing this until they're pushed out of the internet. Because they can't go anywhere. Because nobody wants to be around them. Again, I digress.
Yeah, I didn't want to be around them, so like, well, unfortunately I was kind of around them a while, but I kind of like kept my interactions with them a minimum, because if I did, it kept going around, it would make me go crazy and I have to take a break, because it's just that they make exceptions for their own like weird shit that they like people, you know, doing all this kind of like revisionism around Tumblr and what actually happened. You know, just, it irks me a little bit, because I saw what happened, because their whole drama about this stuff didn't even start with any adult material. It started with stuff that was safe for work, and people having like endless ship wars because, you know, well, I called it like never-ending internet gang war, because that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
And like, it was like them fighting over like, this ship is wrong and my ship is like morally correct, and they're calling other people who ship the wrong characters incestuous and pedos and all this stuff, and it's not even remotely true.
I've learned to have a healthy disrespect for niggas who are weird. And there will always be weird niggas. Because there will always be some motherfucker trying to ice skate
I'm
uphill.
weird, Carl.
Huh? What?
I'm weird, Carl.
I said weird niggas. You are just different.
Oh.
Or as the kids used to say, eccentric. The difference between eccentricity and weirdness is something that you just completely disremove yourself from. No conversation, no thought, just them niggas are weird. Which is really most people actually just having apathy and abdicating themselves from wanting to have to handle someone or something. It's never properly consistent. Because if it was consistent, then it would be fair. But it is not consistent. In many cases, a lot of the people doing weird shit is probably them just having disagreements with people. But in terms of fanon and hobbies, weird niggas, I learned to have a healthy disrespect of them. Because those weird niggas don't actually do anything. They're only able to be afforded opportunities in which to do shit around other people. Because they are effectively hanger-ons. They don't build an audience, they don't build a community, they don't build a place to hang out with people who they know, because if they did, then they'd be with other weird niggas like them. And there are definitely places for weird niggas to be with weird niggas. We all know what I'm talking about, because technically weird nigga is a borrow word. However, this does not preclude the concept of not wanting to be around individuals that just piss you off every single time they breathe. I'm certainly not a person who's in the interest of making myself upset with people who specialize in being fucking irritating. And given my stance on how I feel about how people can engage in this way, given what I've had to deal with, and what I've had to basically accept was some of the consequences of trying to give everybody an opportunity to be understood and heard. If you don't use an aggressive hand, they will never learn to shut up and curb their problems. Because it's possible that you can have weird niggas around you. Because everybody could probably be, quote, weird to someone in some way. When really they're just eccentric and some people don't want to take the time to get to know them. But when we're talking about the fringe cases of the people who are on the very obvious extremes, those people, for which I'm using weird as a borrow word, some people don't want to put up with that shit. And they would rather gag on a dick than listen to a person have a conversation. They would rather suck penis, become a stripper, something, anything. They'd rather do that than do any of the shit that'd probably be brought to them by those people. Because it's a question of patience, and they probably don't got a lot.
Well, Endman.
It's probably a question of patience. They ain't got a lot of patience. They don't want to spend a lot of time. They ain't trying to have a discussion. Not trying to explain it or understand anyone's feelings. It's just, nigga, can you be normal for 15 minutes so we can have a conversation? And if they can't, nigga, I don't want to talk to you. Because you'll see them around everywhere. Some of these people are social autists, certainly. Many of them are autistic, yes. But for some of the people in which I'm describing, they use that as a crutch. Many of them use it as a crutch. So, when dealing with that, half of the job is just getting them to just join normal, polite society and behave in a way that is consistent with just being able to chill and vibe. It shouldn't be all vibes all the time, mind you. But just enough of a vibe that they are not constantly, forever, and always just looking for a reason to give themselves something to have attention about. So, for a lot of that, that comes with experience and time and some level of patience. I don't think it's really all that easy, because I also think that it comes with an expectation of patience. Some of them probably have never been told they're fucking annoying to their face, or that they're irritating and annoying to their face. Because for a lot of them, they just it never happened. They didn't have people in their life that were serious enough and honest enough to tell them what they needed to fucking hear. Which is half the reason many of them continue to be weird, because they never learned social problems and social scenarios.
I mean, I say that they're weird, and I've seen other people tell them that they're weird, but then they try to say, like, you're just being a fucking bully, you're just being mean, you don't know how to act. And I'm like, you're the one harassing people over fictional characters. Like, what's wrong with you? You don't need to be on the internet if this is how you act.
Yeah. So ultimately what you end up with at the end of the day is, like, a issue that cannot solve itself unless you're just willing to say, fuck it, we don't want you in the group chat no more. So in many ways, it is what it is. And in many ways, it's also an unfortunate reality that many people are not willing to really give good grace about. Because when we've tried to have this conversation before, it was the case that those individuals in question made it impossible to really accept space conversations for what they were. And now, what we are left with is the fact that sometimes, because we were being too nice, being too understanding, being too minimalist, and all this other shit, put us in a position where we can't get rid of these kinds of people without necessarily, you know, kicking them in the mouth would be the nice way of putting it. We can't necessarily quickly deal with them without kicking them in the mouth. And for all that's worth, I see that as, like, the greater problem in the sphere of stuff. I see that as the greater problem that is happening with those particular individuals, because they've had people try to come to their rescue and come to their assistance before. They just refuse to really, like, firmly grasp it, and know that there is such a limitation to their retarded level bullshit. But for what it's worth, maybe they never had somebody in their corner like that before to make sure that they understood the cost that comes with the shit that they do.
Living in the wildlands teaches you things, and such lessons help forge it.
Still doesn't mean it's our job to have to do it for them. So many of them just demonstrating the need for why we don't usually give these kinds of people good graces and second chances. Because they would very much obviously run off with it in lots of different ways. They're not the only people that do this, even sometimes normal people can end up having this kind of problem. But apples to oranges, for what it's worth, a lot of them actually end up not. Excuse me. A lot of them end up not really causing this problem all that much, because they end up at least being bullyable.
In my family, we say our weapons are basically part of us.
I'm a person who firmly believes that bullying can in fact work, but it depends on how you go about it. Either way, I feel like I might be waffling here because my brain is frying, mostly because of the meds.
It's okay.
But yeah, on the concern of shit like that, handling those kinds of people, putting them in their place, reminding them about what's the reality of the shit that they deal with and the people that they talk to, places that they go, the people that they hang with, all of that shit is a choice.
I'll leave that side to you.
All the shit is an obvious and direct choice. Oh, they didn't heal me between phases. All of that shit is something that will possibly straighten itself out long form. But being able to do something about it for now, right now, is probably going to be something harder to do than normal. Because probably having some level of conversation about it, socially, is probably easier said than fucking done. But regardless, what else do you have for me?
That's really about it.
Okay. Alright. Good talk. I'll let you go.
Alright.
Bye, Seth.
Bye-bye.
I have been pinged in my server. Why have I been pinged in my server? Oh, it's because Fancy Pants responded to the thing. Okay. My brain was focused on trying to understand the combos I was doing. Chat, forgive me. But, more succinctly, some niggas are weird, and they need to be told that they're annoying to their face. You don't have to be aggressive about it. You don't have to be, like, really bearing down on them about it. But you do gotta let a nigga know, hey, you're fucking annoying. Because if you don't do that, then you can't fix shit. You have to sometimes tell these people that they are in fact annoying to their face. And no, yes, I'm speaking from experience. I've had people tell me, despite the fact I did nothing wrong, that I was annoying to their face. But it had more to do with the fact that I was just not letting certain kinds of shit slip by me. And not necessarily falling down for the okie doke. So in many ways, for what it's worth, that kind of stuff didn't end up being a negative connotation and issue, or otherwise it would have been down the line in a lot of very unique ways.
Enfield won't stop her.
Because, like, every single group has its weirdos, right? It has its creeps, it has its socialites, it's got its recluses, its hikinomoris, its weirdos, and its social butterflies. being able to tell who's willing to do something on a camera, that requires you wanting to sit down and do the stuff. Because in that way, you're then able to speak on the matters of stuff that actually are important for you to be concerned with. Rather than finding yourself in a position where you're not able to address the problem with those people at a later time. I can definitely say I made a lot of mistakes not nipping that shit in the bud when I had a chance. Because I thought, they'll adapt to the culture. And it was actually the case that they did not adapt to the culture. They did not change. The way I see it, it was a choice, and still is a choice, that people can have to choose to integrate into a culture. If a person doesn't do that, you kind of have to decide to call a spade and say whether or not this is a line that you're willing to cross with this person. Because there are some people you're not really going to be wanting to go to bat for and stick your neck out for. Especially if they're going out of their way being fucking irritating as shit to cause you to want to not be nearby them, or around them, or group with them, or socialize to them. For what it's fucking worth, a lot of the times, a lot of the shit that you're able to address on the matter of something like this, it is like trying to have a fight with your homies. And you've got a nigga that's way too stubborn, way too prideful. Kind of to the vein of what I was talking about when I was with Jay. Somebody who's a little bit too brain, a little bit too prideful, and is unwilling to take the 3 roads in front of them. They can accept the advice, they can internalize it and try to resist it, or they can attempt to just be an unrepentant jackass. And at every single moment where there is an easier response, they'd rather say, no, you're trying to control me and my culture, and I can't have that, and blah, 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 blah. Because from my point of view, the way that I see it, it is a responsibility to try and make time, make arguments, to try and get people invested and involved and capable of really seeing a person face to face. Sometimes, a lot more times than you'd expect, a lot of the hard work is literally just trying to meet people where they are and trying to give them the benefit of the doubt when it matters. Because more often than not, they don't actually have the ability to address the problems for what it's worth. Yes. I have to make these better. I did not design these very well. I am fucking close. You have to do this shit. If you don't do this shit, you're gonna be dealing with the problem of this shit forever. That's the thing that I really come to deal with. My brain is different because I try to solve problems before they happen, when most of the time these problems happen in motion, because life is uncontrollable. We won't always be able to handle them this way, but it beats the alternative. They're putting 5 stars on the fucking node rewards. And there are some people already at 60. They just want you to send the friend request, not you have it accepted. And I suppose a lot of my opinion is gated around the fact that I am a leader of a content creator base, as well as a friend circle, as well as my own community. So my opinion is very much shaped by the on-the-ground reality of dealing with what would happen if I don't discuss the issue more direct and succinctly, which is a burden that I have to deal with. But the way that I see it, I do not understand why it would be the case
Enfield Crisis Team, ready.
that I should not address these things in this way and give this advice in this way, because of the fact that having to tell stupid people to not be the dumbest motherfuckers in the room can actually be to your benefit, because they put people off. Any particular thoughts about the developments happening in Minnesota, Carl? We are now at the point where we have to analyze the footage in such a way, because the people that are finding themselves doing a boog keep doing things in a boog-like fashion that is going to make them fuck around and find out faster than they ever could before. And while I could say that I'm all for it, I should probably not say it in such a fashion such as that. But it would be funny, and it would be deserved.
A new flow. All variables within Esper.
As far as I'm concerned, most of the people who are there in the state to protest, they're mostly doing us the favor of needing to figure out if the political experiment is going to be worth continuing. Namely because of the fact that they really don't want to take lessons to heart sooner than normal. So for what it's worth, a lot of it will work itself out later than normal. Why did that one give me a double boost? But they are gonna have to work out whether or not they want to be in a civil society or not. They'll have to work out if they want to be in a civil society or not. They're gonna decide whether or not they like people investigating fraud on their behalf or not. They're gonna have to decide if they like the rule of law or not. They're gonna have to decide if they are... I'm not gonna say if they're citizens or not. They're gonna have to decide whether or not they want solutions for their problems, or if they just want someone to perpetually blame as a part of making problems or not. Lots and lots of answers. Lots and lots and lots of answers. Gonna have to get addressed on the spot. Because one can only fuck around for so long before one must find out. And we are long since past the moment where fucking around and finding out should have been addressed with an immediate consequence. Excuse me. I probably suppose in many ways that it's just going to be one of those things that it is what it is. But I'm not one that wants to keep seeing violence happening in the streets. Because violence does not need to be happening in the streets. The fact that it's continued for this long is a sign of the times, and specifically how little effort is going into solving them. There are some that should be more blamed than others. But I'm particularly of the energy that some of those people need to take more blame than others. Especially Toot Sweet. Before the violence gets any more out of hand. And it will. It will get out of hand. Very quickly. Some could argue that it already has. Whole situation, hard sweet for Walt, and the iceberg situation with healthcare scams. Shit's crazy. Looks like it's done on purpose. I would like to hope that crime is not being done purposefully. I know what you mean. I think of the crime that's being done. It's being done by individuals that do not want to take accountability. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of water carrying that's going on for certain factions and people responsible with a constant that many of us see coming from a mile away.
Hi.
However, I think in the terms of the situation going on, I think the very serious problem is that a lot of people are doing this because they're bored. I think that's probably the first thing to be addressed. How many of these people that are socially involved in the rioting are doing it because they're bored? Or because it's some kind of fun for them? This must be the... Yep, this is the way to the quarry. First test. Yes, sir. I can explore again.
The boundaries of the land.
Why do people keep putting these fucking things here, telling people to jump off cliffs and kill themselves? Because they like to troll, Carl.
Engaging. Stay safe.
I'm with you.
Cheap, mate. Gotta put in the hard yakka.
Like, in my more extremist time, I probably would have said something along the lines of, just deal with them all and let the Lord settle it out later. But that is not going to actually lead to the result that we would like to see in these situations. Because the reality of some of these situations, if not all of these situations, and now I can get here. The reality of some of these situations, if not all of these situations, is that you've got certain types of individuals that are making decisions and choices based on whether or not they can go viral for the drama that they're doing. And while important to try to see some people eye to eye so that you can be able to understand them and get a better, closer capability of meeting with them where they are. Politically speaking, many of these people would be tyrants.
Danger. This one won't go down easily.
35, 35, 35.
Engaging. Stay.
Target locked.
Nope, you cannot fight these. My armor needs to be stronger, and I need more fucking levels. There's so much that has to be done, and just being able to set the ground so that there can be a conversation about the things that we have to discuss and talk about. Because the problem is that nobody wants to do the fucking hard work, honestly. It is much funnier and much easier to be one of the people in the crowd that are effectively absolving yourself of having to do the responsibility, because abdication of responsibility for communication is the fun thing. It's the cute thing. This would be the reason why I kept that shit in my inventory.
Time to fight.
I'll leave that side to you.
So when it comes to political stuff, you kind of are just gonna have to arrest everybody and figure it out later.
A new flow. All variables with
Like, you have to probably arrest every single person who shows up as a protester. Because with the amount of them that are actively demonstrating that they want to do harm to journalists, real journalists, there's no nice way to go about it. They have to be put aside.
verify and report personal
Like, they have to be put aside.
such as the
Like, they have to be put aside. They have to be punished. They gotta be prosecuted. And there's no soft hand level stuff about it. It's gotta be done, and it's gotta be done soon. And my heart goes out for the people that are definitely being victimized by individuals behaving and acting in this way. Because you have no idea or guarantee if you or your loved one would be next when they decide to take it out on you.
Time to fight.
I'll leave that side to you.
But it's
Time to fight.
I'll leave that side to you.
Really kept me waiting.
It's better done as a conversation than it is as a reaction to the inevitable. Because the option for doing it as a reaction to the inevitable, that's going to radicalize people. If they're not radicalized already. And this goes without having to say, but I'll say it anyways. Please put Tim Walsh in jail.
Good work, everyone.
It's very clear that the Ward 6 council people are responsible for creating the infinite Somali problem. Specifically, the problem of helping them do the fraud. It's like very obvious that they're helping with that. Because that shit doesn't happen in a vacuum. Far be it beyond me to say that a Somali can't be smart enough to defraud the government, but it's not a case of Somalis being smart enough to defraud the government. It's a conversation of Somalis are defrauding the government in a way that you cannot just start up a content one day for a business and it doesn't have the smell of corporate espionage. Burying information in the deals. And other such information.
Gotta put in the hard yakka.
To serenity they shall.
And then, like, in the general sense of especially this thing that's been going on, there has been a bit of a troll-like kerfuffle amongst those that are lovers of the Will Stansel show, specifically for Emily Yukis. There's a bounty. There is a bounty out for going up to Will Stansel as an African American and saying, "It do be like that, Mr. Stansel." And it's up to $7,000. Truly, a cultural zeitgeist born from liberal retardation. For the better and not the worse. I think the comparison between the two things definitely deserves to be pointed out. On one side, you've got political things, political issues, and political investment, where people are tired of shit happening to them because of those that wish to decide that going out on the street and doing political violence is funny and or fun. But then you've got people that are being called schizos, Nazis, ne'er-do-wells, and whatever have you. And the worst that they're doing is, hey, we'll pay you money if you go up and you annoy this guy in public. Don't physically assault him, don't do anything at all. Just dress up as this character from this comic I made and do the thing. There's a level of it that would probably be called stochastic terrorism. But there's also a level of it that people would call... There we go. That people would probably call just desserts. In a lot of the ways that matter. There are more people who are cool with the latter than the former, namely because the latter is peaceful. I'm very certain that a lot of people would be a lot more capable, calm, and cool with all this stuff happening if the protesting itself was inherently peaceful. But it's not. So we aren't. And a lot of the conversations that are supposed to be had around the fact that these conversations start from a position of you guys just want to antagonize people. It kind of seeds a lot of the ground for the communication of such content to be stalled and rotted to zero. Because the people in question don't want to have the conversation, and people such as myself do not want to seed the ground any further than it already has been. Another player survey. Oh no, this. When did I lose this? What is the X motherfucking excuse me in relation to? Could you imagine if any of these social political elites was to face time in jail? Some of the ones that are dumb enough to go on TV and say, come arrest me, Pam Bondi, are in fact getting arrested. For everybody else, debatable. Highly debatable. In relation to the bounty. Bounty? Yeah, $7,000 to just find Will Stancil in the street when he's going around cruising to try and terrorize people and say some dumb liberal shit, and just stand behind him when he says the dumb liberal shit and say, it be like that, Mr. Stancil. need the full expansion. Third knife shit in a row. You stay busy. I ain't blaming you for nothing. But yeah, some of them are getting tried for terrorism. Some of them are getting stashed away for treason. And good. But it's not enough. It's not all of them. You know? We can do better than that. We gotta get the numbers up. We gotta get the numbers up. We gotta get the numbers up. Definitely. Okay, that should be enough.
Where should we go next? So, what do people think about Talos 2?
The civilization band has come a long way. We've carved out
I got pulled meat. Pulled slug meat. Dispel arts, inflictions, and reactions, and store HP. Uses for the entire team. Reed Rye. Echo Karm. Obviously, I haven't been there yet. Bye, Buster. But yeah, some of them are getting police time. Some of them are getting jail time. Some of them are getting jailed immediately. And then for everything else, your favorite pundits, if they are doing the usual bit, they're taking massive L's for trying to come down on the side of it. More or less all working out in my eternal kingdom. Possibly working out better than others. Some being better than others. Transcognitive carrier. And T-creds. And the system is still locked. Damn it. I don't remember anything else I wanted to talk about. Might have to go to the kitchen and go check the fucking chicken. Because I need to finish dinner before I can really lock in for the night. I'll be right back, chat.
The air is dry, and the skies look good. I shall rest well tonight.
I already know and have been doing it. I will handle it, Mother. Christ almighty. I already know that it's going to be freeze. It's just going to be done after my broadcast, which I'm still on. I'm not telling you to lecture me.
No with no power. That's what Al Todd was trying to say. Always trying to tell you nothing. Small communication, son. God bless you.
fucking god. Okay. I'm going to lose my mind. Anyways, back. If something else somebody wants to bring up before I go offline, I would suggest that you do it now within the next 10 minutes. 20 minutes, or actually. I'll give you all until 8. I need to wire the... We have to wire the power over here.
Engaging. Stay safe, team.
I'm with you.
This one should be the one that was 35. Yeah.
Something ain't right. I'm with you.
Too far. Oh wow, I can keep the wire connected as I move it back. That is a game changer, oh my god. And I can keep the wire connected while I'm in movement, as long as I start it before the combat. Today was a day of learning, oh my gosh.
And then slow. All the answers within estimates.
Corresponded like layers are
No.
Getting buggers. Maybe I got something in my shoes.
Excuse me, Carl, I don't see my frozen fruit.
I heard you the first time. Have to say, I'm really enjoying this game a lot. Interesting Death Stranding and Factorio elements that have depth with that are fun to engage with. Me, Markkinen, I never touched Death Stranding. Know everything about the fucking video game, and its memes, and its lore, but never played the fucking video games. So, I have to take you on your word with the Death Stranding part. But as for the Factorio stuff, the automation element of the AIC, I find myself enjoying it only because they actually made it clear that the form of automation you get in the beginning was in fact steps towards education. Outside the administrator, I don't remember.
The path ahead has been
Original.
Prep
the path.
Eccomi.
The path.
am I look prepped and contemplation?
I think there's just one right now. I have more 5 stars than I have 6 stars. I believe they gave you Ardelia for free, and I pulled Lei Feng.
Leave it to me. Empty wallet. Need defensive.
Wing speed's okay? This
Yeah, just those 2.
What a beautiful.
Oh, not counting the administrator. Or anyone else they give you for free.
Perfect for a sonequinha.
I don't quite have the pieces that I would like to create teams with him. Probably by design. But yeah, it has its ups and its downs. And it definitely has a learning curve because it's very clear a lot of the opportunity is gated behind what you would like to do first. I, for example, made a mistake because I thought that I was going to find a lot more use for memo beacons and field mobility. And obviously, easy stashes. But I probably should have foregone Wilderness Aid so that I could grab the depot bus. Because I'm going to probably have to tear down a lot of those builds that could not be prototyped into a better setup. Ultimately, it is what it is at the end of the day, and you're going to have to get down here in order to do all of that extra shit. Especially when dealing with Fire EMR. But, the fact that I can't reset this, that I can't be able to refund these and move them around, I don't necessarily like. The design of blueprints, I do like the fact that they allow me to set up my own blueprints. And that it's possible to save them so that you can use them. I also like that there's system blueprints that they give you, at least for the beginning of your production, for amethyst components, amethyst parts, amethyst bottles, amethyst fiber, and I don't think you probably needed to have it shown to you to do your request, even though they are automatically getting you to use the item control ports so that they can control the amount and the type of quantity of items passing through. But, in terms of porting blueprints, there's probably going to be like a mega upload base of what is going to be considered the quintessential meta build of any and everything. But I like the fact that they give me the freedom to design it the way that I want it. Because this was the one thing inside the survey that I complained about. Because I did not know, simply because I had not played another session yet, to get to the secondary step of automation that begins in Valley Pass. I did not know to expect that this would be when they would kick you into the automation. And certainly, on the idea of automation and the lesson of learning to build shit, the many tutorials that become necessary to use so you can actually use them, it's nice that you give me rewards. But it's bad that I have to spend that time reading. Don't interrupt me when I'm going through my routine. Ugh, fucking Christ. I can't even remember where the button is. Where is the button? It's one of these things. It's not gear assembly. Is it facility? No, it's not that. There was like a button that it automatically took you to the database for it, and it had a mission type. It's not the operational manual. I don't think it's game tools either. Share game tools in order to have an award. Was it the archive? No. I don't think it's the database. No. I swear it must have been builds and acquisition center. I can't remember where the lesson shit is. This is the consumption window for what I'm producing and consuming. Ah, here we go. Simulation. Having to go through all of these, and there's more that I have to go through because I have to go through the second tier that started with filling, packaging, and splitting, as well as the depot bus. Having to go through many of these, where it is possible to unlock the general plant farming system blueprint, as well as a system blueprint for buck flowers, or the battery for power generation, is possible. As much as this is a useful tool, especially industrial explosions, because when you go onto the map to the south side of the hub, you can clearly tell there are walls that don't have any portable explosive points around. I would have thought it's because we make them later, but instead it's actually that we just make explosives and carry them in our pocket. As helpful as the simulacrum and simulation is to learning the fucking process, I really do not fucking like the necessary parts of automation that exist. I feel like the space is too small. I feel like the subspace is even smaller. Certainly that's to encourage optimization with your crafting. But they're asking for so much so early without giving you really full access to be like, listen, you gotta do this thing and then you'll have access to all this shit. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's user-friendly. It's good that they made it casual accessible so that a person can learn and thus gain skill over time. Because, metaphorically speaking, these people will be the player base. Will be playing this game for a long time. So they'll begin to, if they themselves say, I don't want to learn how to do this, they're going to lean on another user who knows how to do it. And the problem will work itself out. Because as much as you would like to complain about things that would be like a amusement park, a theme park Genshin clone, similar to OSRS and seasonal content in WoW, this approach is a point of casual, where you can download this game and immediately get into this shit, and then you find out, oh, I really like autism simulators. I really like production sims. Because I would rather it be a less liked version of content, rather than someone being like, I hate this part of the game. Everything else about this part of the game is good, but this part of the game I fucking hate with a burning passion. Type shit. We. There you go. So, like, for what it's worth, it's not the worst game in the world. I have played worse games, both professionally and casually, in my own interest, because I like certain types of guilty pleasures. However, what I'm really impressed by has actually been the cash shop, or what they claim is the cash shop. I've been able to take advantage of it, because I do believe the one for the one with access for PayPal repayment is still down. Nope, yeah, still down. And I have to call them in the morning so that I can actually have my credit card recognized and able to do the exchange for the game, because I think this bundle itself alone for the Originium and a copy of Grand Vision is definitely worth it. I got mine through using the quota exchange and buying it straight up with the quota shit. However, I think 99 cents was worth getting one of the best in slot weapons for the administrator, next to 6 Originium. It'll probably be a while until I find a character that can benefit from the solidification factor for battle skills and ultimate passes, but pound for pound, and for all of the different cash shop packs I've ever witnessed, some of the, well, no, not some, 2. I'd say 2. I'd argumentatively probably actually say 2. Probably this one, obviously, and the monthly pass, with it guaranteeing that it's a reward benefit for all 30 days. One of these and one of these are probably the best value I've seen in a gacha game in forever. Because this is a waste, because Arsenal tickets are not worth that much, and as much as I'd like to get the money that would come from the guarantee of having chartered headhunter passes and getting the ability to do head rolls, I do not think the individual charter headhunter permit is worth $20. In the same argument, I do not think the basic headhunter permit is worth it, and I don't think 1,000 T credits is worth it either. In fact, I think putting this much T credits in the bundle is cheap, because that's saying that there's a weight difference between a $5 amount of the chartered headhunter versus the normal headhunter, because it's basically a $5 premium, and then neither of these are worth the amount that it's worth. This is not a $140 value. This is less than $50. Protocol flow, I don't have a marker for which to criticize the value of marker perseverance, but it's the same reason I made the opinion I just did about the chartered headhunter permit. This is not worth that money. I don't think this is worth that either. I don't think that is worth that either. Firewalker's headhunter, the key credits are fucking useless. The most important thing here is Firewalker's Trail 10. Because this is a 10x, this is another additional pull for a timed banner that's going to disappear in about 12 to 14 days. I guess argumentatively, you can make the case and say if you're willing to pay $15 for a banner bundle for something that's going to be a thing that's going to go away in a while, you can actually be able to make up the dividend on that, especially because of what Leviathan is capable of doing. Getting a targeted banner to pull her off of, like for any game's banner system, having the eventual return guarantee, if you assume that you're unlucky, I guess in terms of buying and or accessing it in any particular way, the argument here is that the reason why they want to value this on top of this is because that's another 10 pulls, that's another 10 pulls, and this is another 10 pulls. And I know that right now, on her bundle, for her headhunter, it lets you go menu to menu, but it doesn't. For her headhunter, without having to pay a single amount of dollars, I have 30 headhunter opportunities remaining and left. For every single time you have a chartered headhunter or a Firewalker's Trail headhunter permit to use, alongside Trail 10X permits to use, that's less, ore barrels that are being consumed. So, 50 attempts left at a 6-star operator or better, hoping that you get that lucky, you'd be within 20. And every 4 attempts, you get a 5-star or better operator. Then, they have this fucking headhunting dossier that then gives you a bonus headhunting, like that within doing 60 headhunting attempts, you then get an automatic dossier that gives you a special 10x permit of the chartered headhunting banner, that then also disappears once that banner disappears. So, do another 30, and you get a plus 10, making 4, meaning 40 attempts, and then you're within 10 to get the final. If that's how they're doing the pricing system on that, that's an extremely greedy system. Because it's putting the caveat in the idea that you're going to miss out on a standard value, which is inherently bullshit when you're talking about the reality of actual content. So then you look at the other bundles. Now I got fucking hiccups. You can make an argument that having arms and specs are fine, but you can get these from doing missions daily. Not a big deal. Certainly, getting the double benefit tickets are great, but you don't need to do this. This will probably come in time. This is very easy to get right now as is. To get to level 40. Proto sets are good because it's breaking through to E3 and E4. Heavy gas die is good because it's going to be necessary for upgrading those weapons down the line. Advanced progression selection, so you can choose the material that you need, and then getting protohedrons on top of the lesser version. I'd say this is about a $10 value. They're overpricing it by $5, and the decreds are meaningless. Same argument about this. You can get these easy. Not that hard. This, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know where to get this from. Maybe on the value of just how many this gives you, this is worth it. But I don't know how much experience an elementary cognitive carrier gives on its own. So your mileage may vary with that opinion. But this right here, if you're telling me the value cost of 2K Arsenal tickets is $13.99, this is some inverse psychoanalysis right here that they're doing, right? Because for any bundle that has this, you're telling me that this is a price value of $13? So this is like $4? No, fuck you. You're crazy. There's no way. There's no way that this 2K value is equal to $13 unless we consider being able to go to quarter exchange or not quarter exchange, Arsenal exchange, and doing things like rolling on the weapon banners directly. Or what I did for some of my choices, just buying the thing straight up. Because we get so many free copies just from exploration for 4-star weapons that you only really got to get them to 20. and then get the weapons that you like for the teams that you like. And then as you receive weapons for them, if they happen to be the ones that are best in slot, you just go from there. Because this whole thing of like, you need to do Felborn's Cane before it disappears, because it's going to disappear after three charted headhunter banners. This whole thing here, this is a trick to get you to spend on that. I don't think that's worth it. I think the Greatsword is worth it, especially for heat damage, which is obviously meant to get you to care about Leviathan. But in terms of all the weapons that are available in this, I don't think it's worth it. If you get lucky, you get lucky. If you don't, you don't. Otherwise, be patient and wait for an opportunity to snipe them later. And then just build them up over time anyways. Because you get so many arsenals from just unlocking people and getting copies of them that you're not going to be missing out. And the fact that bond quotas can be traded for headhunter permits. This is what takes the overhead off of the costs of the tickets themselves. Because in the long run, if you're patient, you'll probably be able to get the characters you want. Especially if it's like, I'm not really feeling this one. I'm not going to stress out all that much. You keep your head on straight. And you don't make bad decisions based on the expected value on immediately purchasing it. Because then you become blind to it. And my argument for that is based on the monthly pass. Because if you click on the monthly pass, down here, rather not in the window, they tell you straight up, 6,000, a 30-day wait time, playing the game naturally through the game, getting a value for $5, so that you don't actually have to worry all that much. Every day, you're getting 200 barrels, and you get a refresh. That is 30, along with an instant reward of the barrels. I've already done my original exchange, not in here, but in the other thing. If I can remember the window it's in. Is it this one? No, but I'll find it eventually. Is it this one? Because it's the one that had the thing attached to it for going in the other thing. I can't remember where it is right now, but it's not in the acquisition center. I don't think it's centered in headhunting. Trying to remember, can't remember, trying to remember, can't remember. Maybe it was in events and I'm retarded. No. Here it is. Past rewards. Going here, building up your Originum, and getting the Originum supply obviously leads to an expected level of value that is going to pay out significant dividends down the line as we continue leveling these two passes. And then you get to the cost of the protocol, and the protocol is 10. The fact that by doing this in total, you get back the Originum you unlocked this supply pass for, means that anything that gives you, I'm going to call them Oreos, that gives you Oreos has an expected value that is good. Then you get the expected value of a 6-star of your choice, which I've already gotten the first one that came from the Headhunter bundle for the Chartered Headhunters that came from the event specifically. I already got one of the weapons for that from there. And I think I did that to get the one for the girl that you start with. Then the 6-star here choice, I'm going to use that for whatever I think I could get for one of the 2 6-stars that I pulled, if I don't already have one of the best in slots. And then everything else that's on the bundle that is searchable through all the rewards. This is where the value of the Hydrons, where the value of the Proto Set, the value of the Emergency Sanity Boosters, the value of even more T-Creds that I didn't have to pay for compared to the amount that they're trying to give you nickel and dimed inside the bundles comes from. And then definitely the sanity usage permits. Yes, I do indeed love getting double rewards for doing something. I'd rather do something once than doing it twice and get it for half the cost of my sanity. And all the other shit as well as the cognitive carrier and 6 marks of perseverance, and then about like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think the number was 8 more of these than I paid for it to unlock it. Or I think it's actually 3. I think it was 29, 28 Oreos to unlock this original supply cache, and I'm getting it back, as well as getting additional experience. 3% probably doesn't sound like a lot, but I play more than enough ARPGs that I know that 3% experience is actually a lot. It's probably why I'm at the level that I'm at now. Compared against what's in the Proto Bundle here, where you automatically get 20 and experience, as well as the earning bonus, and you eventually get all of these things here. Another weapon supply crate, another arsenal ticket, a protocolized weapon pattern to upgrade the equipment, including weapon supplies that can come from future past seasons, a cosmetic, more or less glorified cosmetics. I don't care about those. That is not as important, but for some people's, time cost, it is. And then all of this extra shit on top of it as well, including the sanity usage permits alone. I would say these probably have the more balanced value than the rest of the content of the game. Because in something like the First Descendant, they prorate your actual monetary cost of like $5 is equal to 300. So 300 gets you a crystallization crystal to reset your Descendant, but it does not guarantee you the ability to actually have the mods to put in the slot. It just guarantees you the reset for the slot without the time cost. So, whales that have more money and time, they can simply buy power. And then you become one of the many players that are playing for the story. Because you're never going to be able to compete against a whale, let alone be at the scale of content that wasn't based around whaling. While also feeling like the monetary cost is a decadent failure for actual investment. And I'm honestly a little bit disappointed that there wasn't any headhunter charters in these packages, but I digress. The value of having weapon choice and Oreos and arsenal tickets alongside all of these other additional things as well as upgrade materials and then sanity usage permits to get double rewards is worth its weight in money. Because I would say this is almost a nearly $50 benefit. The fact that it's rated for $10 is a steal because of what it actually values that is actually important to you. Especially in monetary cost and return. And that's with the fact that this is one of the games that's part of the new age movement of gachas where they tell you please spend wisely and don't try to hedge your bets. And that also goes alongside your past missions. Just playing through the game naturally getting you this much experience is crazy enough alone. But all those things together collectively, that is the weight of what I put on the monetary cost of these standard bundles. Because they're just not worth the bundle cost, to be serious. Like, this shit's not worth it, this shit's not worth it. This shit's not worth it, this shit's not worth it. This shit's not worth it, this shit's not worth it. This shit's not worth it. This is 100% worth it. This is 100% worth it. And the difference here is that these are all instantaneous purchases. This is an instantaneous purchase that gives you something that probably could be charged to you for $10 for a dollar. And this is a $5 cost to run something throughout the entire month. And certainly, they'll get money out of you over time, right? 10 months later, they'll have gotten $100 out of you, but $100 of disposable income between all of the payment cycles that a person could have for material conflicts, that's less of an investment than what you'd have to do to get your account back up if you were to play OSRS, assuming that you don't already have the gold to buy a bond, or somebody in your clan, if you have a clan, to loan you the money to buy a bond. So you're already making back a dividend. You've already made back the dividend 9 times over with the first level investment. Because at that point, it literally pays for itself. Both because it's paying for your access to new characters, and it's paying for your access to accessibility content. So you could probably spend, in this round of what's available, you could probably buy this, and then buy this. And you've spent $15, $16 total. You've spent $16 as a direct investment for the future, instead of the FOMO cash out now methodology that they're definitely getting some people to wail out on, so they can feel like they never missed an opportunity chance, which I feel is scumbag-like. But they gotta make money somehow. So if I have to say that this is dog shit, and then I say that this is dog shit, and that the rest of this is dog shit, and that's the only thing worth it. The only thing that's really left is the Originium exchange, and then the Oro Barrel exchange. Because 1 Oreo equals 75 barrels. I don't think that's a good change. At the same time, I'm not paying $70 for a 194 Oreo bonus, even if I'm getting double Oreos. I'm not paying $34 to get the same deal here, or here, or here, or here. And certainly not $12 for $2. Because I'm pretty sure they're always going to give us access to some form of Oreo gain. And I don't think it's worth buying. Period. Getting it through a bundle is one question. Buying it straight up for cash, you will end up ruining yourself financially. And that, of course, then leaves the armament exchange. Already talked about the value of that. The more you're able to recruit, the more opportunities you have to build this. Then quota exchange. That's based on what you're receiving when you're getting your duplicated operators, namely 5-star and 6 stars. Every 10 pull is guaranteed to have 1 5-star operator, because every 10 pull, if it starts at 6 to guarantee a 5 or better, means that you have a 1 in 3 chance, I think, is my best odds, which was the same pull in which I pulled my natural 6-star Leafong. You have a 1 in 3 chance for 10 of your operators to be 5-star by the actual odds when you calculate them. And then one of those ones, if it landed as a 5 or above, could be a 5 or a 6, which then returns the bond quota. Every single time you get 10 or get 100, that is 4 tickets. You'll have to get 250 in order to buy 10, but 250 bonds is a 10 run, guaranteed. And they're weighing that against a copy of Abuena, which I actually like Abuena. I unlocked her for free, but I don't think a 5-star is worth 200 bonds. Not a random one. Not unless there's some type of unique new character. And then the rest of this shit, I don't know what it is. So make your accusations of its value based on how hard it is to get the currency. But I see this as a situation of buy what you want. And I think what every player will always default to is going to be the charters. Because the rest of this shit can be gotten from somewhere else. For easier. Then there's the token exchange, which I think is ingenious. You click the button. You see if you have any copies, of which you're almost always going to have purple copies because there's so many fucking 4-star copies. You take this, you turn it into quota, and then you say to yourself, what do I need most? I obviously bought all of my Firewalker permits from here. Besides that, what else could you buy? What you need? Getting a stock of combat records so you can level your characters up quicker. You could probably find this from someplace else, but assuming that you can't, it's there if you want it. And then endpoint. Endpoint has to come from a 6-star. Because it's AIC 5, then AIC 20 for 5-star, and then 6-star operator copy is endpoint 10. If 1 6-star is 10, 2 6-stars is 20, and then you're buying the weapon that you want for them straight up. Definitely a necessary formulation, because the alternative would be buying them from the thing or hoping that you can get them somewhere else. For items and characters such as Avina and their best in slot weapon, such as Jet, I think this is probably a nice way to reward you. But 5-star characters versus 6-star characters, don't you want to try and optimize for that? Probably be like one of the many things you'd have in the back of your head, especially for the different weapon types. However you were to go about doing it and looking at the situation, this is very much based on, like, buyer beware. So you have to, like, really think about this. So, this is one of those things that you would say is, it's not a factor of loss. Excuse me. It's not a factor of loss for the consumer and the customer. It's a factor of value expressed by the player. They gave us the opportunity to buy whatever you want from the store, and they're all rated at the same number. They're all 20. These are all the best in slots, available for just playing the game, because you'll eventually get 6 stars. If you play it in the law of averages, especially if you're playing it by the original law of averages that is obviously here on the basic Headhunter, 300 pulls sounds like a lot. But you and I both know we ain't fucking pulling this shit with we're not pulling this shit with our Oreos. You know that we're not. We're not pulling it with our Oreos. So, knowing that it's 260.59 for me, because I used like one of them to get like one extra bit of a thing so I could buy a thing. Knowing that it's 300 for a designation until unlocking a character. I already own one of them. I also own another of them. And this is a one-time only choice, so this is getting you up and going and running. And they even give you the ability to look at the operator so you can decide who you want before you even start them. And you see what their peak looks like. Jesus Christ, she jiggles every single move. You get to see what she looks like with both her peak efficiency weapon, so you know what it is, and even if you didn't know what it was, when you look inside of it, it shows you what their best choices are between the 5-stars and 6-star weapons, so they still got you that way, too. They show you them at their peak power, and you can then see how you want to optimize them. So, knowing that frontline support begins with the controlled operator being attacked, forward march, doing heat damage and knockdown and stagger in a fan-based area. Taking damage during the cast does more damage. You can pretty much ask yourself, okay, do I want to put this on a team that does heat and physical damage? You probably could. Probably put it with a protector class if you really wanted to, too. But building through all of these and previewing all of them,
The slightest sleep of mine decides who lives and who dies in battle.
probably this one. Probably the most. Yes. Because this one consumes? Yeah, it consumes. Probably the one that probably is the most valuable, I think, is probably her. Last Right. And she too also bounces everywhere she moves. And this is Cryo Infliction. Next Final Strike, Mirage, Attack, Cryo Infliction. That's fun. Cravenger? Cravenger? I'm going to say Cravenger, because it's definitely not the other way around. Weapons like Cravenger and the effects that they apply when they're doing what they do with these characters, knowing that this is the potential of their peak and what they're capable of doing with their damage, really opens up a lot of different opportunities to you to fully understand what it is you're trying to get benefit for. Because since I already have him, I already know what his best in slot is. I already have her. I know what her best in slot is. Finding either of these three would be opening up opportunities for just adding another squad that can be led by characters that would be considered mid-game and late-game characters versus the early-game characters they're introducing to do your teams. I think the one that probably be the most cantankerous is her, because she is a more offensive version of the cryo healer that I think most of us have received. And that in totality with the rest of the conversation, especially about the weapons, is that if you already know that you don't have anything else to spend that currency on, you can make an educated choice and be happy with your choice, especially when it comes to the barrels. Because if the opportunity for the money is that you're gaining your barrels in such a way where you're getting back a lot of that dividend choice, because there's like over 9,000 barrels in some of these activities, especially for the tutorial missions, which is why I keep doing all of mine. I'll be damned if I missed out on free money. Doing all that stuff and getting all that value then leaves you with an opportunity to then get received and rewarded. Even though it probably will kill you for now, there will be more banners in the future. So you just have to take it in stride and pull the trigger whether you want it or not. That's really the calculation that I do it as. Because outside of the monetary calculation, $15, $16 to be set up, and then the recurring cost afterwards is $5 is fine. You're going to pick and choose the banner that you want characters from yourself, but the passes that they offer for you in the store, you're probably going to be choosing these based on whether or not you have the free money. $10 is accessible, so you can at least say you can do this. Otherwise, you're only paying $5 a month. In terms of the first player benefit, you're only spending $5 a month. With the benefit, you're paying $16 on a game's launch. I'm certain we've all spent more on video games purchasing them and getting them in our hands than we have with the fucking customization. Lord knows I have for Path of Exile. So looking at the cash shop choice and seeing it as an investment to the future and security of my content, I can make an educated decision and say that this is probably smart for me. Outside of that, besides that, there's maybe only a little bit of it that could be considered cope. And that depends on how shameful a person wants to really go about calling it cope. Because I'd call it responsibility. Because this is the calculation you have to do, right? You have to calculate if this is worth your time and investment. If you can't make this calculation off the top of your dome, to the point that it becomes the basis upon which you set your value and your investment into the game, then this will definitely control and destroy any energy you have for the game itself, and setting a bad tone in how you feel about the content as a whole. Which I think is where a lot of the abdication comes in. Because you're doing the monetary cost to see if it's worth your money and worth your time. Obviously, you can't do the calculation of, bro, the game gets good after 300 hours when the game is new and is fresh. However, it is enough that you can do the calculation to say, right now, I can invest $20 into the game. Every paycheck, I will spend no more than $20 on this game. What do I spend my $20 on? Do I spend my $20 on frivolous cash shop pulls that are meant to give me FOMO? Or do I invest in the part that brings me the most joy? Which is, monetarily speaking, the affinity to the material as it already exists, as I'm playing the content and enjoying it. I think the first question is pretty straightforward. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, don't. Pretty simple. Like, you don't have to trick your brain and being like, if I invest now, then I'll make a dividend later. Like, if you like it, buy it. If you don't, don't. If you see the inherent value in the choice, then make the choice and be happy with your selection. If you don't see the value, and you're not exploring everything as I have, since I've already spent over, like, maybe 10, I would say 20k oro barrels, based on what they have given us, you're able to make a better discernment in that way than the other way around. So with all that being said, that's really how I feel about the game right now, in terms of, like, stuff. I call games like this breathalikes, specifically because they specialize in trying to make open world content to get you invested, but at least this one was original enough that they didn't try to give you, like, they didn't try to give you a, dissertation on gliding and sky falling through zones. They made everything accessible through ground movement and through jump puzzles. Backtracking is a part of design. That design invests you into going through zones and really seeing what's worth your time and your quantitative insurance. As opposed to what would probably be the norm for mini games like this, which would be the nature of setting you up for failure. I think, alongside Once Human, this game is capable of delivering the future that gaming seems to have promised to most content creators and most gamers, and truly making forever games that are accessible enough to them that you don't feel like you have to spend, like, the lives and blood of your women and children in order to be able to truly enjoy something, because you have to do all the content and grind all the content in order to be relevant. Which is definitely the problem that I would have with games that have cash shops where you buy power. Once Human's able to do it because everything there is for effort, and that's just basically for the bragging rights to have swag. Whereas in here, the things that you would think would be competitive by nature, they made collaborative and cooperative. Namely with the membos. Because memos are just like messages, which are also just like bloodstains, which are also just like normal whisper messages sent throughout worlds and people interacting with each other to give them hints about stuff. And the fact that we are then using these items left behind and built by other people in very tactical places makes it doubly important to have the ability to really consume that, internalize that, grasp that. Because it builds with the communal aspect. Because you're not playing against other people, you're playing with people, and you're all on different parts of your journey. Some people will definitely have bought power to get ahead of that journey before other people. But you're not going to be priced out of a marketplace, you're not going to be nickeled and dimed, etc., etc., etc. Which is alright with me. There have been people in my audience before that said that I didn't seem like I was the type of person to play a gachapon. But I've been playing gachapons way longer in my career than it would appear. Only because the one which I played, the one singular one that I played religiously until I decided it was time to stop. So it would not come out, obviously, as directly as someone playing Genshin on stream on fucking Twitch would have. Alas, that is my burden to bear.
We usually bury these good finds first, before anyone else spots them.
A new deployment. All vehicles within escort. Access point to rest. I shall sweep the rest.
I gotta clean essence. I can't stop the loneliness. It echoes resoundingly. I need to do a couple more quests in the area, but I think that was the rest of the power I had to connect to the network. In this sum, at least. And then there's all this shit up here that I can't go to yet, I believe. However, I think that's everything I have to talk about, chat. So I will be leaving you now, because eventually I'm going to be hungry. Things to do, things to edit, people to talk to, stuff to plan, etc. Goodbye, everybody! Remember to come back, same Carl time, same Carl channel. Normally we do this in the morning, but because of my health, I did it tonight, at night. Unfortunate, Tusky, I'm sorry. Do all the algorithmically promotional things. Spread my word, spread my gospel. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad. Tell your other favorite content creators about the nappy one. Consider becoming a member of the Carlists and joining the neighborhood HOA. And join in the Negrohood. Etc. And I will see you all Monday. And then I will see you again on Wednesday for movie night. I'm going to probably do an impromptu... My camera's glitching. We're going to probably do an impromptu camera movie night. Through this week for a couple of things. I have dared some people to watch some content. And that's something that's probably going to happen. We've already done the movie for the 15th of the month. The movie night for the 15th of the month, because we still technically had a lot of movies to catch up on. But I believe we are now 2 matinee nights into being fully caught up. Post for your preferred picks. The curated movie events that I set up are going to be specific things. But we will do the group movie night on Wednesday. Everything else that happens from there is going to be the curated content by me. New videos coming soon. Ish. They will be out when I edit them. I'm close to being done with them. I want it to be a surprise when you see it. And, especially for Discord Gaming Night, we are going to likely do them at 4 p.m., but I will probably set up the event and start it at 2 p.m., especially if I'm not preoccupied and there's no one around, because I don't want to sit there doing nothing to myself in dead air. So I'll probably be playing a video game, waiting for other people to show up. But we do have a game rotation. We start with golf with your friends. Then we move to one of the many either free-to-play games that can be played in a group, or to one of the private servers that we play with. And that is Toontown Online Rewritten, Mabby Pro, or Eternal Return, or Helldivers, or etc., etc., etc. It very much depends on who's available, because many of us have the game, but some people don't have the game. So, for the people who don't have the game, I have many free and or reduced cost ideas that I definitely present to the chat room, because they're games that I enjoy. You know, what other time is there going to be to play Friend Slop except on the Discord Gaming Night? But I try to push us in the direction of free-to-play games that are either free to access, free to play, free to own, free to keep forever, or they are free to play, and whatever like scaling progression system they have, you can be able to go through them with people who you know. That way, you're not necessarily put in a position where you're having to learn by yourself. It is very much the case for some people. They might not necessarily feel like it's something that they would play normally, but I would encourage you to jump into the event. Besides that, anyways, same thing with the movie nights. Remember that we have movie nights 2 to 3 times out of a month, normal scheduling. I believe I said the 1st, the 15th, and the 30th. Sometimes I might forget on the 1st, which is why I have movie matinees to catch up on. But, with Discord Gaming Night, that is every single Thursday. As the week goes on, we might end up even making another gaming night. Something like a follow-up from Thursday to Friday to Saturday. Because with people in the community posting content ideas for coverage, especially for versus chat, there may be some times the camera's still fucking glitching and it's irritating the shit out of me. Now it's getting worse. There are instances. I shouldn't have said nothing. The moment I complain, it's like, oh, you complain about glitching? I'm gonna give you something to complain about, Carl. It is in the instance that for that content, it's still gonna be glitching. Yep. It is in the interest of, for that content, that without having there be nights where there's nothing to do, no one to talk to, I encourage all of you to socialize and to talk to each other, both online and offline in the Discord, as well as on camera and on stream, with this content, so that you can also get to know people and bring other people inside as well. Should I extend the scheduling of another Discord to Gaming Night to be assigned on a day of the week that happens after Wednesday? Assuming that Wednesday is the middle of the week where we can have the hump day for movies. It will be something that we're going to vote upon inside of the Discord. I do most organization for content from inside of the Discord. I do it from inside of the Discord, specifically so that everything and everyone can be fully on the side of being prepared and being active. I fixed it. But only for a moment, I think, because I think it goes back to immediately glitching. Unless I do like a system reset where I plug and unplug it. It'll be in the interest. Yep, there it goes. It'll be in the interest that you specifically, and then it flared up immediately. Oh my god. What is it about my existence that's making the camera hate me? It will very much be in the possession that whenever I do anything, the first place you're probably going to hear about it is going to be from the alerts inside the Discord. The fastest place that you can get my attention is the Discord. Outside of that, Twitter. Outside of that, the community page of YouTube. Outside of that, if you have my direct phone number. That's it. If there's something that you would like to suggest, or something that you want me to see, or something you think I need to be a part of, or something that requires my immediate attention, other than my DMs, which I'm not necessary to answer, if it's like a person who's DMing me without a message, and they are like in some shared servers that I'm in, I'm not likely to respond to it. But if it's like, hey Carl, there's something that you should be a part of, or hey Carl, somebody's made a hit piece on you, I will respond to that in time. But if there's like some type of thing that you think you would like to see happen, or you would like to see approved, the highest way to get my attention, other than throwing money at me, money is nice, by all means, super chat at your leisure, but rather than you paying me, you can DM me directly. Or you can tell me in my Discord, through the channels. I will see it. Or one of my mods will see it. Or one of our more active power users will see it. And they will bring it to me. So if you're not already a member of the Discord, please become a member of the Discord. It is an 18+ Discord. And we do have Discord authentication and registration. If this is something that puts you off, that's completely fine. However, that is how I organize things. Is that all my requirements? Yes. Something, like, subscribe, share the stream, something, and consider supporting Carl at Twitch, Ko-Fi, Subscribestar, and all other places, as a Carl is a terrible thing to waste. Something, African American, something black, something. Okay. My throat's not completely dead, so I think I can still speak normally for the night. However, I will be leaving now. Shabbat shalom. Remember to spay and neuter your pets. And don't fuck without a rubber. There ain't no love without a glove. Goodbye! I'm turning into a pumpkin.